Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a door decoration. It's actually a wreath, and I really enjoy this project because it's super simple. Well, if you've done it a couple times, it's super simple, and it's not all that hard even the first time you do it, but this project only takes about 40 minutes to an hour and a half depending on how fast or how slow you do it. So I hope you guys enjoy this project as much as I do. We're going to start off with the supplies that you're going to need for this project. You will need a wreath form, and they come in many different sizes. This size in particular is 20 inches in diameter, and it's just the size that I like the most, so that's the one I picked for this project. You will also need a letter or some sort of just something that to go in the middle of this project, just so it takes up all the empty space in the middle. You will need 4 of these. This is burlap. It comes in, this one in particular comes in 15 feet sections, and it's about a little over 4 inches wide, and I found that this one works the best. So you will need 4 of these. I only have one out right now, but you will need 4 of these. You'll need a pair of scissors, a pair of wire cutters, a wreath hanger, and this is, it goes on the back of your door, and the wreath will actually hang off this piece right here. You will need a ribbon of your choice, and this will hang the letter in the center of your wreath, and it's just to get it to hang, otherwise you have no way to attach it. And you will need some sort of decoration. I choose fake flowers because I love fake flowers. They're always pretty and you don't have to water them, and that's the best kind of flowers to have. So I like to pick 3 of the same flowers, and I do a variety of colors. So you can see for this one I've done an orange and 2 reds, and then I pick flowers that can act as a background and it creates contrast in between the main flowers and the wreath. It just is another color to bring in. And I think that is it for supplies. So first I'm going to show you guys how to attach the burlap to the wreath. So you will take your wreath form that you purchased. Depending on the size will depend on how many pieces or how many rings of burlap you'll need. For a 20-inch ring, remember you will need 4, and that is a total of 60 feet. So you're going to open your burlap and take the end. There will be an end towards the beginning of your roll. You will run it underneath and set the ring form on top of it. You will then bunch the end of this burlap and fold it over the middle ring and under. So you have it kind of attached to that first piece, but it's not completely secure. The more burlap you put on it, the less you have to worry about these unsecure ends. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in between the next 2 bars, grab your burlap, and pull it up like that. And it's just going to create a loop. So you're going to do the same in between the next 2 bars. When you do this, make sure that you're pulling from the side that your roll of burlap's on and not from the side of your previous loop, because otherwise if you do that, your first loop is just going to disappear. So you want to make sure that you're pulling from the side of your burlap and not from the side of the loop you already made. So now we have 2 loops. Now what you're going to do is you're going to run this back under the ring and start from the middle 2 bars again and pull up. And make sure that you're scrunching this up the entire time you go. That's how you create the density, and it fills any holes that you may have, and you'd see your wreath form if you left holes like that. So you're just going to keep going in between each set of bars and pull up. You can pull up as much as you want or as little as you want. It just all depends on the look that you're going for. You just want to make sure that there's a variety and you're not doing it in a uniform manner, because then it kind of takes the uniqueness out of it. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but this wreath form actually has these bars in the middle. right here. And so I just push it up as much as I can in between each of those bars, and it makes it tight enough that your loose ends won't come out. That's about as much as I'm gonna fit in between these sets of bars, and as you can see, it makes it very full looking, and there's no organization to it at all, and you can always tweak it once you've pulled the burlap through. You just want to make sure that your 4 rolls of burlap will make it all the way around, and once you get it all the way around, you can go through and you can spread it out and fill in any gaps that you may have. It doesn't have to be perfect when you go through the first time. So that is how you apply the burlap to the rings, and this is what it looks like once you've got the burlap all the way around. As you can see, it's not perfect, but that's the fun of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's some spots that I didn't make the loops as big as others, but it just makes it unique. And as you can see on the back, my loose ends all have gotten sucked in because I've bunched it together. So there's a loose end there. There's another one over here somewhere. And that's what it'll look like once you've got it to this point. So now I'm gonna ask my audience for some help. Dad, will you cut these flowers at about 3 inches down from the base with the wire cutters? That's where your wire cutters are gonna come into place. While he's doing that, I'm going to go through and separate each of these. You can see that I selected a flower that has a skinnier base, but there's a cluster of flowers on each base. So I'm just gonna cut each of these flowers at the base. Okay, now will you just cut the lining of this off about that far up, so where just the metal's sticking out? We're gonna use that to actually loop it on our ring form.
So you strip it?
Yes, please. I'm going to move these over here.
Oh no.
While he's doing that, I'm going to show you how to attach the ribbon to the ring form. Or not to the ring form, sorry about that. To the letter that we're gonna hang in the center. So when you're working with ribbon, it's always to cut a longer piece than you need because you'd rather it be too long than too short. So if we want our letter to hang about in the center, we are going to need anywhere from 12 to 18 inches to get it to this top piece right here. This is what we're going to attach it to, is this outer ring of the ring form, and that's how we're going to get it to hang in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and do about 2 pieces of this length. I'd say this is almost 2 feet. I would just rather be safe than sorry. And as you can see, our letter actually has hooks on the back, and we're going to run our ribbon through these hooks and tie a knot, and that's how we're going to secure it to the letter. There's one side. And there's the other side. So as you can see, we have 2 pieces of ribbon that are gonna hang our letter in the center of our wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and place this in the middle and run these 2 pieces of ribbon behind our wreath. Just like that. And I'm going, well, first you must decide where you want the top of your wreath and what you want for the bottom and the sides. So I'm going to say that that works for our top. So you're gonna take your piece of ribbon, run it underneath this outer bar of the ring form and pull it through like that, and you're gonna do the same with the other side. And you want to reposition your letter and make sure it is where you want it. I think that is about where I want it. I'm gonna hold it up so you guys can see it. That looks pretty good. So now, to fasten this to the wreath, you have to decide if you want to tie it in a knot or if you want to tie it in a bow. That's the beauty of this project, is you can really do it however you want. There's no rhyme or reason or no right or wrong way to do this. It's really all depends on your preference. So I'm going to loop it around the outer ring one more time because I'm gonna tie it in a knot. I didn't cut my ribbon long enough to tie it in a bow. So from here, I'm just gonna tie it in a knot to secure it. And your tails, you can cut your tails if you want, but if you're not sure this is what you wanna do, you can just go ahead and tuck them in case you change your mind and want to try something else. This project is very forgiving. If you don't like the way it turned out the first time, you can take it out and you can try again. So that is what it looks like with our letter hanging in the center. When this wreath is hanging up against a door, this backside of the wreath will actually sit flat against the door, so the bottom of this letter will as well, so it won't tip forward like it is doing now because it'll be hitting the door. So that'll keep it from falling forward like that. You can see the little tails here that you might want to trim, but that's just fine tuning that you'll have to do before it's finished. Now I'm gonna ask my mom to decide where she would like to put these flowers. Each one of us might put them in a different spot, but the nice part is it doesn't really matter where they go. Let me bend the end of that first. The reason why I've bent the end like this is because we're going to separate our burlap and actually hook the flower around that burlap once you decide where you want it to go. So it's just a way to make sure that it's fastened. So go ahead. Oh, I'm gonna put this for you. Go ahead and decide where you want to put those. Can you get it?